Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. How's everybody doing today? It's so cool to see all of your smiley faces. You didn't know I could see all of you. Yeah, I could see right through the screen. I see a lot of happy people, lots of smiley faces. And we love that here at JMS Live. If this is your first time joining us, I'm your host, Jim Masters. It's a pleasure to have you here. We are on show number, I think it's like 555, 560. We've been doing this series since May of 2020, and it's been really cool connecting with all of you. For those of you watching again for the first time, I'm Jim Masters, and we always have a good time here. The show has a lot of light, love, and levity. This is like an entertainment, lifestyle, variety talk show series. So, yeah, we do interviews, but we also go on location. We do special pop-up shows. We do holiday-themed shows, and we do a whole host of cool things, like an old-school talk show with some of those legendary presenters and hosts with a modern twist and a modern vibe of today, with guests that literally come in. It's pretty cool, from all around the world internationally, as well, from Broadway and Hollywood, television, film, stage, music, culinary arts, sports, comedy, inspiration, science and nature, health and wellness, you name it. Our guests come in from everywhere, and we have some poignant moments. We have lots of laughs on this show, lots of surprise moments too on our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. And we have all of you. Thanks to everybody who's tuning in from all around the world. We love all of you. And thanks for all the great comments on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. You can find me there on all of those, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Jim Masters TV. Of course, our YouTube channel that you're watching live right now. And hey, gang, we would love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Jim Masters TV. It's the channel you're watching right now. And while you're there, you know, they say the word subscribe, but there's no cost for it. You just click that red button that says subscribe and you're in. It lets us know that you really enjoy what we do. There is that button. You just click that. There's no cost. And it lets us know you're enjoying our series. We have over, again, something like 550 episodes with guests from, again, all walks of life. Some celebrity friends have come through as well. And it's really been a cool experience. Thanks for all the letters, the cards, the emails, all the what we call levity here on our show. Our show has a lot of levity because I said that the show about a year ago, I said the show has a lot of light, love, and levity. And I said that too fast, and I came up with the word levity. And ever since I said the word levity, everybody has fallen in love with it. So our viewers call themselves the Levity Squad. That's right, from around the world. They have dubbed me Mr. Levity, which I think is really cool. They call this Levity Hall. They also welcome our special guests into the Levity family, and I think that's cool as well. And many of you chat with each other in chat. You can comment live right now. Also, give this episode a like, a thumbs up on our YouTube channel, and leave a comment for us too, gang. We'd absolutely love that. How's everybody doing? Hope your day is going well. I literally just got off the radio. As you guys know, I work professionally here in the United States. This show comes from the United States. We're here in the New York area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. We're along the southern New England coast between New York and Boston. We're just a couple blocks from the ocean. Beautiful area here, fall foliage, really nice time of year. And I was on the radio all day today professionally, and then we had a television shoot in the morning. So busy day for me. We've got a special guest joining me. My buddy is returning to the show. A couple of weeks ago, we had our friend Damien McGinty on the show. And of course, we've had Neil Byrne and Ryan Kelly and Keith Harkin, and so many of the Irish lot have come through, many of whom I've known for years because I interviewed them actually on PBS when they first came over from with the group Celtic Thunder, and the ladies from Celtic Woman, and all the artists. I've interviewed them and known them ever since they came here. And we've kept close, we've kept well, we've kept connected, which is so cool. And they've all been on our show. And this is a return visit. This is what we call double levity, gang. This is a return visit for Colm Keegan, joining us from Glasgow, Scotland right now, where he makes his home. And yes, gang, yes, he's going to play live. We were just checking. We started a little bit later because we were doing a sound check. We wanted the audio to sound good because, you know, we're here in the United States. We've got a big ocean between us. Scotland is on the other side. And it's a little bit later where he is. And they just turned their clocks back. We didn't do it in the United States yet either. So we're doing that this weekend. So we had to make sure the time was, you know, accurate for everybody because their clocks went back, but ours haven't yet. And we have a viewer that watches in South Africa, and she says their clocks don't go back at all. So it gets a little crazy sometimes, but Good to have you here. Thanks for all the lovity and for all the comments. We're going to check in with some of our viewers who are watching around the world, the lovities. And I believe the Colm Keegan street team is watching as well. We say hello to all of you and anybody else that's joining us for the first time. Hopefully it won't be your last. Colm is here again, live and direct from Scotland. He's going to play live. We're going to have some great crack, as we always do, Irish crack, and we're going to catch up on some cool new things that he's working on since he's been on our show last. Let's check in with some of our viewers watching from around the world. And who do we have here? We've got Katie. Katie Herring says, super excited to see this show today. We are super excited, Katie, that you're watching the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Of course, we welcome all of you here from all around the world and share this episode. Let everybody know that you're here. Let everybody know that you enjoy our series of shows. We have another show tonight, too, with a brilliant actress and singer, Joylyn Jacobs, who is an American actress, stage, film, television, movies. She's done it all. She's on tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And again, we would love it if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. You're watching it right now. Click the notification bell. And Nan says, Jim, thank you for having Colm back. My pleasure. He and I have been chatting about this for a while. And he said, yeah, let's just pick a date and pop on. And here he is. And we love it. We love it. Nan says we're all in need of some a bit of crack today. Yes, absolutely, Nan. You're spot on with that. And Thomas Martin is watching. And Thomas says, hello, Jim, watching from Louisiana. Good to see you. And you're going to be heading back to work at the hospital. It's beautiful work that you do. And if you miss anything, you can see it in the archives. We will be archiving this, and we archive all of our episodes right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Alessandra, watching in North Carolina, USA, says, oh, yes, I need a bit of crack. Coming right up. Stat, you got it. And we love this. And Nan says it's great to see Colm back here at Lovety Hall. That's what we do call it. You guys are the ones that started calling this Lovety Hall. We love this. Jane is watching in Sweden. She's always with us. And Jane just retired recently. Our show starts usually at 8 o'clock at night, Eastern time, here on the East Coast of the United States. For Jane, it's like late, very late when we start the show. So there's been times when Jane in Sweden has watched our show up until an hour before she has to go to work in the morning at the airport in Sweden. Now she doesn't have to do that. She's all excited. You know why? We didn't change the times of the show. We're doing a special early episode right now with Colm. That way there, folks that are watching in Scotland and Ireland and England, other areas can watch it live and it's not too late at night. But Jane has retired from the airport after many years of service. Jane, congratulations. So she can sleep in after she watches our show late at night in Sweden. Sherry's watching in Kansas. We always, I'm a very interactive host. I love to interact with our viewers and thank them for being here. And Sherry is one of our regular viewers, as is Jane. They're our lovely squad. Hello, everyone. Back to stealth mode since I'm watching and listening from work. Yes, many of you, I know you're sneaking in right now. Don't tell your bosses you're watching the Jim Masters Show live from work. We won't tell anybody, Sherry. Mary Bishop is excited. She's here watching from Florida, USA. Good to see you, Mary, as well. Hello, Jim and lovely friends. And Alessandra says, welcome back to Lovety Hall, to Colm. Kathy Short as well. Hello, Jim and Loveties. I've missed you all. So glad to be back in time for Colm's show. Kathy, go back and watch the Halloween episode that we did Saturday. You'll be very surprised. And we had some special guests who were, well, sort of hosting. You'll see what I mean. Just ask the Loveties. They will tell you. Sharon is listening in from work in Michigan, USA. Thank you very much, Sharon. Elena is here, and good evening from Italy. Hello, Jim and Loveties. It's going to be a great show. Thank you, Jim. My pleasure. Nice is watching here from France. Good to see you as well. From France, you're always here, and we love when you're here as well. And Joan Sandow is back. Good to see you, Joan. She says, hi, Jim. Loveties, welcome back. Colm, absolutely. Good to see you and all the great comments that are coming in here. We'll scroll through some of them as we go along, but we're going to bring Colm on now so we can chat and he'll play a little music and we'll update. He and I, we've been chatting back and forth. I chat with all the guys and from Celtic Thunder and all the ladies from Celtic Woman. And, you know, I don't know if you saw the episode, we had Phil Coulter on, we had Sir James Galway on, we've had so many incredible Irish artists on this show. Nancy is here. Hello, everyone. Good to see you, Nancy. Welcome to the show, Nancy, once again. Nice when you're here with us. Barbara Quinn is here. Welcome back, Barbara Quinn. We love when you're watching as well, and everybody that's watching all around the world. Janet is here. Good to see you, Janet. She says, welcome back, Colm. And Barbara is watching from sunny, we got Janet there, and then Barbara is watching from, I think it's Tampa, Florida, right? Yes, Tampa, Florida. I hope it's sunny there. We're going down to Florida for Christmas to see our family for a couple of weeks. We can't wait. We can't wait. Barbara says, dog is happy because you forced me to stop working and sit down. LOL. Everybody needs to take, you know, some time for themselves, right, Barbara? Thanks for joining us. And Pamela Crawford is here from Louisiana, USA. We welcome everybody that's watching live, and we welcome anybody who's watching this later on in the archives. We appreciate you as well. Barbara says, hi, Jim and Colm. So, as you know, he is our special guest. And again, he was doing a little tuning with his guitar. I told him, you know, you can grab a cup of coffee or a glass of water while I greet all of our viewers and welcome them to the show. And why don't you join me in welcoming our buddy back to the show live, this time from Scotland. Our buddy Colm Keegan is in the house here on the Jim Masters Show live. I see everybody getting excited. We always have a good time on our show, and here he is. Welcome back.
There we go. Jim, how are you doing?
He's in the house, or in your house.
I am. Welcome to my home. Yes.
Welcome to our homes. This is the home edition.
I know. And there's probably some people who are tuning in who've been joining me from the start of the lockdown that feel like they probably live in my home at this stage from the amount of time they're seeing me in it. But
that's what happens, you know, if you change, like, you know, that big plant you have in the corner, is it next to the piano? If you move that plant 5 inches, the viewers can tell. They're like, wait a minute, you move the plant, or you have a different pillow on the couch.
I know. I've had to start getting these, you know, a lot of the lessons that I do online are over Zoom. So at least they give you a chance to have a backdrop and a background that you have in Zoom. But the only reason I have a background when I'm teaching is because in that door there, a lot of the time the kids don't know that I'm teaching and just run right through in the middle of a lesson. So at least if I have a background, it gives me a few extra meters of you know, warning time to try and usher them back out.
Exactly. But, yeah. Have they come on screen? Have they made appearances on screen sometimes? Because we've had that happen. We've had that happen with guests where their child, we had one guest who was a Broadway star, and we were in the midst of a conversation, and her 8-year-old kid came. You can hear him in the other room playing drums. This was there in New York City, and you can hear the kid playing the drums. And he set up these chairs in this other room, and his father, her husband, was with him, keeping him company, because she was in the other room doing the conversation as my special guest. And I guess he wanted her attention, so he came bursting out of the room. He ran up to her while she was talking, and we said, that's fine, you know, because we've had cats and birds and dogs fly into people's shots. We've had people leave their chair to go get their Oscar or their Tony Award or whatever, or their Emmy, to show us that. So we see the empty chair. But he wanted her attention now because he wanted her to go in the other room to hear him play the drums, because he was doing something online for the grandparents in Florida. He was pulling her headphones off her head while she was trying to talk. So she had to call the husband, honey, come quick. I'm on the air with Jim Masters. He's pulling the
Oh no, we've had a lot of that, especially if we're doing, you know, anyone who's tuning into our staged shows as well. More often than not, the staged shows are from our home.
Right.
So I'm glad to say not every show now, but there have been shows where normally we have a baby monitor behind where the volume's switched down, but you can see the line if one of the kids wake up. And there's been 1 or 2 shows where we've had to make a beeline for running down to get the kids. But I feel like it's the ultimate karma. Do you remember that video that went viral a few years ago of that? I think he was a BBC reporter, and he was doing a live interview, and one of his children came into the room, you remember that? And it kind of went viral.
Yes.
And
Oh, yes. The kid
so
was sort of sneaking, and you saw the wife come in and try to like
exactly, yeah.
drag
And the
them
whole
back.
world was laughing at this moment. And I feel like it's now the ultimate karma, really, where we're now living the exact same scenario. So
So now you
um,
just, if that happens, you just go with it. You know, let's cheers.
yeah,
I see the cup there. Cheers.
I know.
Yes,
Sláinte, yeah.
sláinte,
Cheers.
sláinte. Do you
Cheers,
have just
Jim.
water? I got a little coffee in here, afternoon
I've
coffee.
got a cup of tea now.
Mm.
And I have to admit, I told you now before air, but we went on air, but I'd already told you about the time difference and, that we changed the clock in the weekend. And
Yes,
so
you
this
guys
kind of,
changed it. We didn't
yeah,
yet,
so
but
we
you
changed
did.
last weekend, which has always been a limbo then but anyway, so I even knew in my head that it was, instead of it being 5 hours difference, it was 4 hours. And on Tuesday we go swimming with our kids. They've got their swimming lessons. And I was in the pool with the kids only about an hour ago. And I saw the time and I totally forgot that it was going to be an hour earlier. So talk about making a beeline. I literally had to, second the lesson was over, we were out of the pool and into the showers and running back. So it was a bit frantic before going on air, but we got here and it's great to be back, James. So thanks very much for having me.
See, I'm Mr. Smooth. I just said we were still doing a sound check.
I know. I
covered.
I know. I appreciate that cover.
Hey, I got your back. I've had it for years, and you've got mine. I love it. That's what friendship's about. How have you been doing? You were with us. I was looking at some of the past episodes, and believe it or not, we have done we're approaching I think it's now 560 episodes of the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series since we launched it late April, early May of 2020, 7 days a week, and playing off my professional work in television, radio, wearing a lot of hats. It's been a lot of shows, a lot of good conversation. It was literally right around a year ago now when you and I were chatting, maybe
That's right.
just by maybe a couple of days, which is so ironic. So in that year's time, there's been a lot that has happened in our world. How have you been? How's the family? And how have you been, getting through everything and staying, as I always say to all the guests, collaborative, creative, connected, and sane. And most guests will say, Jim, I haven't achieved the sane part yet.
I don't know. I think that's still a goal that we're aiming towards, I think. But
yes.
We've been doing great. Honestly, we can't complain. Like everyone else, it's been a really difficult year for a lot of different reasons. From a work point of view, you kind of, when you're self-employed, it seems like a real achievement to try and have the guts of a year and a half of a schedule in place. You work pretty hard of getting the next year ahead. Then you're working sort of, roughly 15 to 18 months ahead of the schedule at all times, really.
Yes.
And, it's an amazing feeling when at the start of COVID, in the space of how hard it is to work on trying to get those 18 months or 15 months of work lined up, to have that in the space of about 3 days gone like that is a pretty petrifying moment. I remember sitting down for dinner with the kids on about day 3 or 4 of the lockdown, and everything was cancelled. And I thought, this is a pretty surreal moment here.
Rough stuff.
So we've just tried to stay as busy as we can. I'm really, really lucky that we didn't really put all of our eggs into one basket. And for years we've been trying to balance already the likes of a music touring world with along with teaching, along with bus tours, and that has really kind of stood us good steed in the last 18 months of COVID, because we've been able to juggle a few different balls. Now, I don't know how long we can go juggling the same work. We've just tried to throw ourselves into everything and just stay as busy as we can, and we'll see what comes as a result of it. But I never thought I'd be doing some of the work that I have been doing in the last few months. But that's kind of, in one way, that's almost the beauty of this time period, where it's a totally unknown world that we're living in, and we're just trying to make do with what we have and what we can. And here we are speaking over the internet with people tuning in to watch, and
this is awesome, because it's like 1 year later and we made it. We made it to the other side. We made it. There we go. We
Exactly.
made it to
Yeah.
the other
Yeah.
side, which is really cool. And now we just got to all
Absolutely.
stay, together and on the same page and unified and just with, love and empathy and kindness, which I know you're very big with that too. That's really important in this world. We need more empathy. We need more kindness, right?
Absolutely. God. Yeah. I mean, and it's so easy to fill yourself with the opposite. I think, as much as I love
Yes.
social media from a business point of view, the fact that we've been able to launch online teaching terms or bus tours or music tours from our home to people all
Yeah.
over the world through social media. Don't get me wrong, it's an amazing thing, but there's times where you just need to take a step away from it as well, and think it's a bit too much, the way people are kind of so comfortable saying horrible things on these
Yeah.
platforms as well. Not to me, thankfully. I can't say that
Yeah.
it's come in my
Right.
direction, but
I'm lucky too with that. Yeah. I
but
haven't had.
so yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. It's definitely a time where I think a lot of empathy and love is certainly needed and required.
Is everybody doing well? Everybody's healthy. The family's good. Everybody's doing okay since we
Yeah,
chatted last.
yeah. It's been a bumpy road at times, in the last few months, but again, there's a lot to be grateful for as well, and unfortunately, there's a few members of the family that aren't with us now that were
That were
with us
there.
last time we spoke. But everyone is um looking out for each other, and the fact that we're kind of now sort of coming to a stage where we can travel a bit again, and there's light at the end of the tunnel, and
Yeah.
it seems like life is starting to get a little bit more, um you know I don't know if normal is the right word, but we're getting a little bit of a glimpse of what life was like pre-COVID as well, and the fact we're able to travel across the Atlantic in a few weeks' time. We won't be, but the fact we are able to as well, and that kind of, that border is reopened, it just makes things possible again, which is great.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And I know a couple people have asked um, about you specifically, and for anybody not aware of certain things, maybe not seeing anything online or what have you. Um, how are you? Because I know there was a little bit of a, you fell ill a little bit there for a
Oh
while,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you sort of,
yeah.
there you are there.
Oh, there I
Thumbs
am.
up, thumbs up.
God.
He made it through. He made it through,
Yeah.
man.
That was my social media kind of out of office reply, that
That's the
people
out of
put up
office
with their emails.
reply.
Yeah, that's my excuse. If I haven't got back to you, this is why. No, listen, listen, I'm doing great, doing absolutely
Yeah.
fine. Thanks for asking. It was just one of these things where there you go. There's my son Oshin coming in to take me home,
To
and
visit. That's beautiful, huh?
um, give me a pair of socks as well. But
Hey, he's got you covered. He's got your back. He's got your feet.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. No, it's one of these. It was a few weeks ago now where,
Yeah.
I mean, anyone I think with young kids, or anyone we know is saying the same thing. I'm sure anyone watching will probably say the same thing, that they've certainly made up for lost time. And with the lockdown, they didn't pick up any bugs last year, and now this
Yes.
year it's just one thing after the other, all very minor, thankfully. But but they've been just picking up everything along the way, and there was one of the days we were trying to go back. The kids were going back to preschool, or nursery as we call it here, and because they were out ill, they needed to provide a negative COVID test,
Yes.
and then bizarrely we all had to get tested, and bizarrely mine came back positive and the others came back negative, even though I felt absolutely fine. And I was double vaccinated, so I was Lord vaccinated, which was,
And you were pretty much home, right?
yeah. So I mean, it was more of a, we were looking to get back home to Ireland for my dad's birthday, and I
Yeah.
felt absolutely fine. So it was
Yeah.
more, that's kind of the way my mind was at the time, where I certainly didn't feel ill. I was more, disappointed we couldn't travel back for dad's birthday and things like that. But then a few weeks later, I just started feeling really, really ill, and I think what it could be anything. I really don't know, but I think what they might have said is that there could be, the COVID was in the system. I didn't really feel it because I was possibly vaccinated. I don't know, and but because it was in the system and working away, then I think I picked up a secondary virus, and that absolutely floored me. So nothing major. Now it was more they were bringing me in for tests to rule out a lot of things, and and the care was absolutely amazing in the NHS, and
You
here in
know, it's a
Glasgow.
plus
So
too, is that you keep yourself in shape and you're relatively healthy, and that's a plus, that worked in your favor, which is a blessing.
well, I try in the morning to regularly go for either a run or go to the gym, or then a few days a week I play tennis and things like
Yeah.
that, and
Me
play a
too.
bit
You're
of
a tennis
football.
player?
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I try and do those things just to take a break from the computer and get a sane, and
Yeah.
that word that we're kind of all searching for. But again, it was more that was going through my mind when I was told to take a few weeks off, that I was more disappointed that I couldn't keep going on with those things that I was enjoying. Um, so anyway, it was all absolutely fine, and
Yeah.
I almost feel with the 18 months that from what some people have gone through, what some families have gone through,
Has been extraordinary.
it
Yeah.
really has. So I really can't complain at all. Thankfully, touch wood. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's been an interesting few months, but we've been so lucky. I mean, the support that we've had, it's great that you were saying as well how busy you've been and how many people have been logging on, which is fantastic. And we've been absolutely blown away and by just the level of support. Anytime we throw in anything, be it online teaching or an online show
Whatever it
or
is, they
anything,
loving
that
it.
people have been purchasing tickets, signing up, and that's been great. Like we've been able to stay at home, be with the kids more than we necessarily probably would have in
Right.
an ordinary year, and been able to work virtually, which is fantastic. So as I kept saying throughout the year, you had this had happened 10 years ago, I mean, I think the music industry, which was already, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's on its knees at the minute, but 10
Yeah.
years ago there wouldn't have even been that small opportunity of virtual work that we have available to us now. So we're really blessed, and God bless technology. Anyway, it's been a godsend.
Yes. So you've been making music during all of this as well, Colm?
Yeah, not as much as I would like, Jim. But having said that, there has been a few different songs that have been written with the intention of going into the studio at some stage, hopefully in spring, if everything goes well, of 22. But the three sort of balls that we juggle mostly, from a professional point of view, would be the music tours. Obviously, that was on taking a back step in the last few months. We've got the online teaching that keeps us really busy throughout the week. We offer a lot of different courses there, and there's going to be a brand new 7-week Christmas term starting this coming Sunday the 7th. A bit of a plug, but
Yes.
that keeps us really busy. There was over 107 people that signed up for the last term, so trying to keep up with even the administrative side of things
As a
is
whole, all the
keeping us.
paperwork and scheduling and
Yeah,
getting
exactly.
everybody.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, so it's been great to be busy and that front. And then the other work that we're doing is with the Keegan bus tours, and we've got 6 different bus tours, all of which are sold out at the minute. So trying to keep those
What are
afloat.
those for the audience watching that who are not familiar with that? Tell us about that. What are the Keegan bus tours? What happens and when they're a part of that? Sounds cool.
Yeah, we love it. Absolutely love it. It started in
I got to
2017.
take this show on the road and come with you. We'll do the
You're
show
more than welcome.
live.
So it started in 2017, where the origin of the idea was that I was offering courses online about Irish history, about Scottish history, and I just kept thinking about this idea of almost like a field trip, where you're in school, you learn about these things, and then you go visit it. And I wanted to try and offer something where you can learn about the history of something, and then at the end of it all, come and see the area that we've spoken about for so long. So in 2017, we worked with CIE Tours, to provide an Irish and Scottish bus tour, and I couldn't believe how quickly it sold out, how much we loved it. The feedback from the passengers was amazing. So what we did after that then was we thought, okay, well, instead of doing an Irish and Scottish bus tour in spring, why not break it up to try and cater for the demand coming our way? So we did an Irish spring bus tour and then a Scottish fall bus tour. And from there, those two, it then turned into 4 bus tours a year, and now we're up to 6. Um, and all of them are sold out, and we just love it. I was so nervous about the first tour. Like, I mean, when you start any new work, you never know how it's going to go, and it's always taking a bit of a risk. But the first minute of the very first tour, I turned around to Laura and said, I can see ourselves doing this for the rest of our lives. you know, we're both really passionate about it. Irish and Scottish culture. I did way before touring. I did my university undergraduate degree in Irish language and history, and you know, I've always had a massive interest in Irish history. So being able to then facilitate people coming over onto a bus tour, you know, to take them around some of my favorite areas of Ireland, Scotland, England, and Wales, has been just fantastic. So, so the demand keeps coming our way, and we don't know what to do with it. So instead of having more people on the bus tour, because one of the things we like to do is keep it nice and intimate, so we get to know everyone on the tours. We've just added more tourists to the itinerary, and
wow,
you know, so we kind of cap it at around 50 passengers, and we're up to 6 bus tours, 40 to 50 passengers.
Wow.
So it's been fantastic. You know, we've really loved
it. So where do they meet up? Where's like usually the starting point? Dublin or Belfast?
Normally the capital cities is really where the bigger airports are. So normally if it's an Irish bus tour, you tend to start and finish in Dublin. If it's in Scotland, you tend to start and finish in either Glasgow or Edinburgh. I mean, normally what you do is if you're starting in Glasgow, you kind of do a bit of a loop up to the Highlands and then back around the other side to finish in Glasgow, or vice versa. You know, and then England and Wales have just been added as well to it as well. So, you know, for our England and Wales tour in 2022, we're going to be attending a West End show in London. We're going to have a night in London. I'm going to perform, obviously, with Laura along the way. We're going up. We're going to be performing as part of the Liverpool Irish Festival. You know, so it's brilliant. It's allowed us to make, you know, this bridge between the work that we love to do in North America, and then also offer it, you know, bring people over to the other side of the things that we love to do back home. So, yeah, so that's kept us really busy as well, which is great.
That is awesome. And you guys do like to travel. You like to get out there and do a little roughing it, right? See, that was a perfect segue.
Absolutely. That was up in the Highlands, up in Aviemore there in Scotland a few weeks ago. And what we've decided to do, I mean, there's different projects that we're involved in here locally in Scotland. We tried to check out different areas for Keegan bus tours in the future, so we can, you know, then
that's a good idea.
Together.
So scoping it out a little bit.
Yeah, that was one of the things. There's also then I'm involved in. I've taken a leaf out of your book, Jim, and tried to throw my hand at presenting as well. I've started working with Celtic Music Radio here and present the Colm Keegan show each Friday. And there's different work, you know, that I tie up then in areas of Scotland. I talk to people for the show, and you know, so that also then is to do with the traveling. And there's a lot behind the scenes that I can't yet talk about. That there will be
coming.
There will be a few announcements coming in the next few months, which I'm really excited about. But we bought that motorhome just before COVID started, and it's been brilliant. It's been our office on wheels. The kids love it. We love it.
What are you cooking up there? Looks like you're cooking up some feast.
Yeah, do you know, believe it or not, that was just a fire to stay warm. I think Laura was in the van cooking up something a bit nicer than what I'd be able to muster together.
It's like,
so, you know, but it's been great. You know,
that is nice.
Allowed us to go virtually anywhere and take the kids with us, and they love it as much as we do.
You do. And of course, to the matches as well, right?
Yeah. You've done your research, Jim.
We've done the research. How'd you know my favorite color is green?
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, that was at a Celtic game 2 weeks ago here in Glasgow. So, you know, I followed Glasgow Celtic Football Club, for anyone who wouldn't be familiar. You know, we had a huge Irish connection with the club. We were watching the games growing up as a child. So the fact that I now have the stadium and the games on my doorstep is pretty cool. And I never thought growing up watching Celtic that I'd be one day taking my children to the games. So so that was a game against St. Johnstone 2 weeks ago, where thankfully Celtic won 2-0. So it was a great day for the kids to go along to as well. So
that's
great
nice.
fun.
That's a cool shot there too. You know, you also had mentioned the classes too. Tell us more about this for people that might not be aware of the fact that you do all of this. What are some of the things that you teach and that people can learn and you know, participate in? It's kind of cool. It's like a lot of different things involving Irish culture, right?
Yeah. So like, I'm always trying to think about new ways of doing things, new jobs to do. And you know, when I was with Celtic Thunder, we would be at meet and greets, and there were so many different questions about Irish history and Irish
Yeah.
culture. And all I kept thinking was, I wish I was able to offer this, because this has been my sort of background, my passion, my interest for my whole life, really, in Irish
Yeah.
language and Irish culture and Irish
And you
history. So
studied education too in college.
yeah, and I was a
Yeah.
qualified teacher, and you know, so what I decided to do was open up the classroom a bit wider, you know, and offer it to anyone around the world. And you know, what we've been doing now, it started off pretty like you know, the ball was pretty slow moving, but it was great. I was loving it. I was able to work around different music tours, that I was able to travel and then come home and offer these things virtually. But then since COVID, it's taken on a new level. With the world going back indoors, we've been more available to offer more terms.
Right.
So what we do now, it sounds like a lot, but you know, what we do now is we offer both group and individual lessons in Irish history, Irish current affairs, Irish language. So a very different side to the sort of on stage performing and music side. I also teach music theory for any one interested in that as well. My wife Laura has just joined the team, and she's offering now private cello lessons as well as group piano lessons, which is the new addition to the new term starting this Sunday. And then we also offer monthly book clubs, all to do with Celtic culture. So it could be an Irish or Scottish author, it could be a book written about Irish or Scottish culture. And if anyone can't commit to any of those times specifically each week, well, then what we do is we also offer an opportunity to receive 20 phrases in the Irish language via WhatsApp. So you sign up,
Wow. That's
you join
cool.
this WhatsApp group, and then, you know, Monday to Friday of the month, I then send a message, and then people attempt the phrase in their own time, and then I offer a bit of feedback on that as well. So, you know, so it's been great. We offer all those different things. As I said, to, you know, 106 people or 170 people signed up to the Halloween term, and Christmas already is looking to be our biggest term yet, because what we started to do is offer some discounts as well. So I didn't want to try and grab every penny from people's pockets signing up. So if you sign up for an individual class, you receive a 50% discount of a group class and anything. But also there's a bring a friend discount as well. So if somebody you know is interested and has never signed up for CK Online before, well then if they sign up, well then both you and your friend receive 50% off for the term as well. So
That is cool. That's exciting.
yeah, so and then there's new plans as well for the new year, which again I can't really talk too much about, but there's always things happening behind the scenes that keep us nice and busy. Yeah, so it's been fantastic. I've been able to talk about things that I love, you know, for hours each day to people who seem to have an interest in it as well. So it's been really, really you know, I've loved it. And again, the feedback has been nice for those signing up as well. So if anyone wants to join, they're more than welcome to sign up this coming Sunday, the 7th. And the other thing I should mention, Jim, as well, is that to give people a taster, because I know there's probably a lot of people that think, well, there might be something I like, but I don't know. I've made it so that you can sign up for week 1 and you're not charged to sit in week 1. So if you walk away after that, there won't be a penny that's taken from you. But if you decide to sign up for the term, well, then week 1 is included in the charge. So you can have a bit of a taster for week 1, see if this is something you like. If it is, well, then you can sign up. And if it isn't, well, then, you know, well, then that's it. So, you
Does
know, you
week
can walk
1
away.
include breakfast at the house, or
Yeah,
or is that the
yeah.
VIP package?
It's there's the babysitting as well, where you can just keep an eye on our kids,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
myself and
you can
Laura
do
will
the
go out. Yeah,
babysitting. Yeah,
that'll be
you
fantastic.
could have the house, but you got to babysit. You got to vacuum. You got
Yeah,
to make the
that's the
beds.
small print. Nobody
Walk the
sees.
dog. That
Yeah.
is funny. So that's
So
exciting. And I know people probably are lovities that are watching, plus the Colm Keegan street team and everybody else that's watching, probably wondering about Celtic Thunder as well. I know they've had to, in the times I've chatted with them, they've had to push back some of the tour dates, things of that nature, due to the
yeah, January, yeah.
scenarios and people being venues not being open and all. But you're going to be rejoining them again for upcoming events, right? Tell us
I
about that.
am. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Yeah, in fact, that was the last show that I performed on stage with Celtic Thunder, and that was in North Dakota at I think it was like a Viking festival of all things. It was it was amazing, but you know, it was just you walked into it didn't seem like much was going on until you walked into the building, and then thousands of people were there. But yeah, I'll be joining Celtic Thunder again, which I'm really really excited about, Jim.
Yeah.
You know, the guys that what you probably don't realize, like I say, a lot of people look at who's on stage or what's on stage and think that's kind of it in Celtic Thunder, but
No.
it's only really the tip of the iceberg. That we be in touch all the time.
Yeah. We
Uh,
become like brothers.
oh, of course, you're
Yeah.
spending every minute of every day with these people for a long time, and that doesn't end really with whether you're on stage or not. So,
Yeah.
so I'd be in touch with the guys a lot. Obviously some more than others naturally, but and then I got a phone call a while ago to say that, or just ask would I be interested in joining them for the All-Star Irish cruise that was going to be taking place. So going on a cruise with the guys on the Caribbean, I as you can imagine, it didn't take me long to try to agree
Say
to that.
yes. To say
Yeah.
yes.
Where do I sign? Yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because then that was one of the victims of COVID, and then that seemed like it was going to be either cancelled or postponed. Thankfully, it was just postponed, and it's going to be happening now in February of the new year. So February 22, I'm going to be joining the guys on stage for the first time, and I don't know how many years now. So I better start learning the words to some of the old songs again. But yeah, so that's going to be taking place in February, and I really can't wait. Cannot wait to join them again.
Because you sort of, broke off a little bit to do your focus on your education, focus on some other projects as well, but have always kept, the wonderful relationship with Celtic Thunder and Celtic Thunder with you, right? How long ago was that when you wanted to pursue the master's in education and also focus on some of your own projects as well?
Yeah, it was. None of it was really anticipated because there was a bit of a quiet year touring wise, which happens now and again. Some years are really busy, and then you need to give a bit of breathing space before you go back. So it was one of these years where it was quite quiet. I think there was only one tour that was going to happen, and I knew I needed to complete one more year to complete the master's in education. So I spoke to Sharon Brown, the producer of the show, and
Sure,
she
yeah.
was amazingly supportive. She turned around and said, "Listen, you'll only be missing one tour. Go back, do the year, and then you can spend as long as you want touring, and you'll always have that master's." So
Right.
it was a great piece of advice, and I came back home. Obviously, was going to miss the guys and doing that tour, but with the assumption that I was going to be going back at the end of it. And then in that interim, then Laura and I discovered that Laura was pregnant. And we were expecting our first child, and then that changed things a little bit. So
How'd that happen?
yeah,
Magic.
still trying to figure out how, Jim.
Yeah.
But yeah,
With a
so
busy schedule and all,
I know. It's what happens when you get a 2-second break from touring. But, but the
Maybe 4 second.
But so that changed things a little bit, and that changed the plans. And then what happened to be a one kind of tour hiatus became a little bit of a longer break. And but as you say, it was always amicable. It was always, it wasn't a case where I never really announced that I was leaving the show, because I never really felt like I was leaving the show. And then I was brought back to do when they were doing stages early on. They started doing stages series. I was working with them on that at the start, so I was brought back to do an episode with Emmett on the Irish language and things. I've always kind of been, on in the good books with the producers, and I would always be picking their brains with different advice that I have work wise as well. And so it's been great. It's just when you have children, it does change how flexible you are to do things. And they understood that I was trying to do my best to offer as much availability as I can, for the shows as well. And anytime I've been available, I've been more than happy to do the work with them. So it's been great. I've been really delighted to be that kind of the extra guy, you know, the fifth member if they
The
need one.
utility man, right? Yeah, the utility guy. Bring him in.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
seventh inning. We need to bring him in.
No,
Bring him
exactly,
in the
yeah.
stretch.
I'm the guy that when no one else is free, well, then I'm always the guy that has
Give
nothing
Colm a
going on.
call. He'll be there in 10 minutes.
He's probably at the door already with his bags packed, yeah.
Yeah. He's dependable. That's it. Well,
So yeah, so
that's
that's
cool.
been,
That's great. So that's those things are coming up, and it's really
yeah,
good to be back with the guys too. And that was that one goes a while back a little bit there, but that's
I know.
cool.
I know, so I'm really looking forward to it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exciting stuff. Also, we've got this too. Tell us about this.
Yeah, yeah. So that was our debut album, which is called "I'll Never Be Alone." That was a picture from a photo shoot we had up in the Glencoe Mountains in Scotland, a beautiful area. And yeah, so like any other musician, like a lot of other musicians, one of the bucket lists, you know, goals and dreams was to release your own album of your
Yeah.
own music. And when I joined Celtic Thunder, it was just a case of when I was going to get the opportunity to do it. I was really excited to do it. And the assistant musical director of the show, a very close friend of ours, Seamus Brett, owns
Oh,
a
sure.
studio.
Yeah, I met him several times. Nice
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. So, you know, so we worked with Seamus to make the album, and I loved it. Absolutely loved the process. We released it and then was blown away by the support. Got to #1 of the world Billboard charts, the world iTunes charts,
Isn't that cool, huh?
Amazon charts. You know, the whole lot. It was fantastic. You know, we were really blown away by the levels of success that it had as well. And
And tell us about, for folks who haven't heard the album, tell us about the album and how, what was it you were trying to achieve in terms of the music and the selections of the music in the album?
yeah, I think the concept of "I'll Never Be Alone"
Yeah.
was the fact that you know we were. It was just after myself and Laura got married, and I think a lot of people thought that we were talking about in a kind of loving romantic relationship context, but it actually wasn't. There was a song that was written years before that where it was more to do with the fact that if you had something in your life, well, then you'll never be alone. As long as when all else fails, if you have, you know, for us, we were talking about music. It could be anything. Could be art. It
Right.
could be nature. It could be sport. Could be religion. Could be a person. Could be a pet. As long as you have something in your life, well,
Yeah.
then you'll never be on your own. And that's why we kind of wanted to have that picture where in that picture in the photo shoot, you're in a quite isolated, location up in the Glencoe Mountains. But as long as you have music, well, then I'll never be on my own, even in this spot. So that was kind of the concept of it. Looking back, Jim, it was also around the time where, and I don't think this was even really consciously on my mind, but it was definitely subconsciously there, and I see it now looking back, where it was also around the same time when poor George Donaldson passed away, and there's a lot of different songs that
Yeah.
I wrote at the time that I don't think I was fully aware of the fact that who I was talking about, what I was talking about, but when I sing it now, I definitely realize that it was coming from a place of also kind of, missing George and going through
Sure.
probably one of the most difficult chapters of my life. So there's a lot of that in there as well. So that was certainly the source of a few of the songs. But yeah, no, it was a concept I've always wanted to do, was to songwrite, to throw my hands at it, and I'll definitely be trying to get back there at some stage again, with all the different balls we're juggling at the moment, work wise, and then anytime I'm
Yeah.
not working, I'm pretty much with the kids. So it hasn't really been. I always feel like creativity for me comes more naturally when you've got a bit more time in your hands, and you can allow your mind and your thoughts to wander, and that's when sort of the genesis of a few different ideas come together. But it's been quite busy in the last few months, so I haven't really had that much time, as much time as I would have liked. But
But you're making the most of it.
yeah, in a
That's the
different way.
key.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
In a different way, right?
yeah, exactly. So as I've always felt, and I think it's probably a lesson that's been instilled in us from a young age with our parents, who are, had amazing work ethics, both of them. That I always felt that as long as I always thought that maybe I'm right or wrong with this, that if you're easy to work with and you're extremely hard working, well, then everything would work out for itself, you know, and that's kind of
Yeah.
the moral that I was always kind of brought up with. So,
Me too. Yeah.
you know, so we'll see what comes from it. If nothing comes from some things, well, then at least you give it a shot. Again, presenting was something that when we were with Celtic Thunder, every time we walked into PBS with the likes of yourself, Jim, and when you're in a TV studio or radio studio, there was always this buzz and energy and excitement that was very akin to going on stage where, you know,
Very
anything can
similar.
happen. It was got that live
A
energy.
live thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you just, you know, and I always saw it from a theater, and I never really got to see it from a studio until I joined Celtic Thunder, and all the promo trips that we did, which could be a month or month and a half of interviews alone. Every time I
Right.
walked in there, I thought, you know, this is something I would love to do at some stage.
Some people, it scares them though. Live, there's no net. Anything can happen. They like
Yeah,
things that are scripted and rehearsed and teleprompter, and everybody knows their lines. And but
yeah,
I love live television, live radio, live everything stage, because there's just that energy
yeah,
of anything can happen, and
yeah,
it's up to you oftentimes. And I've been in these positions in television, radio, where I'm the only one standing there and I have to do something and I got to do it now and think
yeah,
quickly. And it's like a sport, or the
yeah.
adrenaline is flying. I look calm, I look cool and collected, but inside is
Oh
going
no,
on. Because
totally. Yeah,
you got to put it all together and make magic out of dust and keep it
absolutely.
going, keep it going.
Absolutely. And I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, but a lot of people keep coming up to, you know, or if I'm to give a speech or if I'm to talk, or, you know, people say, oh, but Colm, you don't get nervous about these things. When actually, you know, I
You
don't
don't
think I
show it.
maybe
Right.
give off the impression that I'm
Me
nervous,
too.
but inside I'm absolutely panicking about it. You know, as you're saying there, your mind's going 90 about all these
Yes.
things. But I love that nervous energy that comes along with anything that goes live. So, you know, so presenting was something that I always wanted to do at some stage. Again, Sharon Brown, I have to thank her because she was always in my ear saying this is something you should really give a shot to
Give it
at
a
some
shot.
stage.
Give it some
Uh,
thought. Right.
and then when live music and world tours were pulled because of COVID, it seemed like the perfect opportunity to give it a shot. So so that's been something that I've been keeping busy with. I have a radio show now. Thankfully, I did a few specials during COVID, and then after one of the specials, I got an invitation to join the team at Celtic Music Radio here in Glasgow, and I have a weekly Colm Keegan show now, which happens every Friday, 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock here locally, which is 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. in Eastern. Um, so I've loved it, really loved
Yeah.
it. Something that had
You
COVID.
do it from the house too. You set it up from the house and
We started off, so the first thing that I did was in a studio, but then everything went virtual, and
right.
you know, so now I just do it from my home. We've, I think, the option of you know, doing either location now, and I love doing it from home and having just a
Yeah.
different setup here that I have, and
Right.
you know, so yeah, so it's been great. I've loved it.
You have another, and congratulations. That's cool stuff. That's cool stuff. Maybe one day we'll be doing it together somewhere on,
Who knows,
you
Jim?
know, RTE or what
Yeah,
have you, or
yeah, yeah.
or
CBS merged with
CBS here.
RT.
Right. That's right. Keep all options open,
Mm,
always. I've always done that in my
absolutely.
whole career. Keep all options open and wear a lot of different hats. I wear so many different hats. Like, some know me from my work on PBS, but then iHeartRadio or this show or that show. Keep a, you know, this thing here too that we're doing,
Yeah,
the Jim Master Show Live, but just do a lot of different things and expand
yeah,
your
absolutely. Yeah,
horizons and learn about what everybody's doing. That's what I always did in college. They always used to teach us, you know, always appreciate and learn what everybody else is doing, what the promo people are doing, what the lighting people are doing, and the engineers and the people climbing the transmitter towers and changing the light bulb at the top of the tower, and
oh,
what the
totally. Yeah,
sales people are doing, and the makeup artist is doing, and everybody, and appreciate and respect and value it, because you never know when sometimes they call on you and say the other person didn't show up. We
yeah,
need you to run in there and just
yeah.
make magic. And that's
I
happened to
know.
me multiple times. So
I
it's
know.
it
I
takes a
know.
village, you know, it takes a village to
It certainly does. Yeah. And again, that thinking on your feet, that nervous energy, and you know, there's it's great. I mean, like we used to have a few moments where I remember once, well, more than once really, but one comes to mind where so we had the in-ears on stage in Celtic Thunder, and the beauty of the in-ears, apart from obviously getting the sound that you're most happy with, and is that if anything goes wrong off stage, they've got a shout mic where they can talk to anyone on stage and the audience won't hear it, you know? So there was one of the nights where I was coming to the end of one of the numbers, and in your ears, then you hear somebody off stage saying, there's a problem. I think it was Neil who was coming on after me. And they said, there's a problem with Neil's microphone pack. Can you speak to the audience after the song for, you know, as long as you can?
Just keep ad-libbing, keep it going,
so,
say something.
When you start doing the same show multiple times, you get used to saying the same thing and you know, leaving stage when there's that element of something new thrown in there and you've no time to think about it and you've got a full audience looking at you.
Like, okay.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Most people run in the other direction, but you're like me. You know, you work so hard to make sure things like that don't happen, but when they do happen, it's really cool. You can't script it. You can't prepare for it. You can't, it just happens. And you just gotta, that's when you're challenging yourself. And that's when you're pulling up all the reserves to just go out there and give it 110% on whatever it is. And sometimes, you know, I know you like to, I like to use humor. I think levity, you know, if something goes wrong behind me, we used to be trained in television and radio here, at least in the States, don't acknowledge it. Don't point out that thing just happened, or that person, or the set fell down, or don't point. Now it's actually, you know, if you have something that's major going on behind you, how can you not? They're looking at you, seeing it happen, and you're still standing there just talking as if it's not. Then they think this person doesn't have a heart. They're a robot. They're not real. How can? So now you're just sort of like, you know, like if I slip up on a line or something, or I say something too fast, I'll say, I guess I got to adjust my teeth or something. And, you know, and then everybody starts laughing, and it's just same thing happened with this show. And I said that the show has a lot of light, love, and levity. And I said it too fast last summer, and I spit out the word levity. And then everybody was like,
that's where it came from.
That's it. That's it. Jim, you said light, love, levity. Love and levity equal levity. We want that. So they're the Levity Squad. They call me Mr. Levity. This is Levity Hall. You're a Levity. I think they dubbed you a Levity already a year ago when you first came on. Every guest is a Levity, and it just happens. And you just run with it, you know? You make the best of all situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally. And
people like to see that. They like to see how you handle those things. I was doing a Christmas concert. I was emceeing of all places in New York City, Carnegie Hall. It was a big Christmas concert, and I was the master of ceremonies, and I was in tuxedo. And we were about 50% into the concert, and they had all of Sir James Galway was there, Lady Jean Galway. A lot of people were coming through this beautiful Christmas concert. And it was through my friend Tim Janis. And about 50% into the concert, I had to come back out. Now, I don't know if you've been to Carnegie Hall for performances or anything, but it's a well-oiled machine. And they have the big white door, and the door opens up, and the MC, if there is one, comes out to the lectern and announces who's next and whatever is happening next. So this is a situation with big orchestras behind me, all the singers, lots of great artists have come through and other performers. And I'm standing there in the back waiting to go back on with the other, the crew and the other artists that are all lined up, ready to go on. And I'm rehearsing in my head, should I say this line? We're at Carnegie Hall, and this is, you know, it's prestigious, it's well-known, it's elegant. I said, but it is Christmas time, and it is New York. And a New York audience, they roll with a lot of different things, and they're very enthusiastic. So I said, maybe they'll get this. Maybe they'll get this. So I said, should I say this? Should I not? Should I say it? Should I not? So I said, you know what? The big door opened. Jim Masters goes back out on stage and then they had me, I wrote all of the introductions. It was a cool thing. And I usually do it every year. And I go back out. Here's the MC, Mr. Dapper, tuxedo. The light comes on me. The orchestra sitting. They're all waiting. The singers are waiting. The next artist is behind the white door waiting.
Yeah.
And I go up to the stage, to the lectern, to the end of the stage. at Carnegie Hall, and I look around and I'm smiling in the tuxedo, and I look up at the balcony, because a lot of people never look up at the balcony, and I acknowledge the balcony, and figuring, okay, this is a fabulous Christmas concert, the full orchestra, the singers, everybody's dressed up and they're happy. And I go up to the microphone and I said, aren't you glad you decided not to go bowling tonight? And the whole place erupted in laughter. It was totally left field, not what they expected, and totally like broke the ice, and everybody was like, oh my God. And it was just,
well, that's the thing, it makes everyone relax,
I
doesn't
love
it? It makes
it.
the
Was
audience
cool.
it
Yeah.
makes the audience relax. And if you've got a relaxed audience at a show, well, then everyone on stage can relax, and they're, you know, it's
right.
you know, so it's.
And then all the guys, when I went in the back, the crew, you know, because they see a lot of people come through there, they're high-fiving me. They're like, oh my God, we've never heard that before here at Carnegie Hall. That was incredible. It was really cool. And I was, at first I was like, should I or not? And it just it worked. And it worked. And it absolutely worked, which is cool stuff. So you have a lot of cool things happening, which I think is really, really awesome. I like this.
Oh yeah, that's again up in the same photo shoot up in the mountains here, but from the cover, yeah. So it's yeah. So I suppose the downside to doing a photo shoot before you have children is you look about 20 years younger than you do afterwards. But believe it or not, that is me in the picture.
You look the same. I think you look the same.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some pictures, especially from Celtic Thunder, when people come up at shows and ask you to sign. You think, oh my God, I feel like I need to introduce myself to this person after seeing, you know. But no, yeah.
You have the same suit, and do you still fit in it? Because you know, COVID.
Yeah, exactly. Let's blame COVID, Jim. Let's blame COVID.
This, you know, the problem with COVID. I think I don't know if I mentioned it too, but the COVID thing. We were supposed to be 6 feet away from each other, but they didn't tell us that we had to be 10 feet away from our refrigerators.
You're not far wrong, honestly. Because that was the other thing when I was told that I couldn't exercise for a few months. You know, and I was thinking that was literally the only thing that was keeping me sane from you know, literally sitting in the office all day. So yeah, so I think by Christmas I'll have to try and figure out some other way to fit back into the suits. Especially if I'm going back to Celtic Thunder in February. That's kind of my goal between now and then.
Fast. You know?
Yeah, they'll probably bring out the suits that I used to have in the show, and that'll be a wake up call for everyone.
That's it. But, you don't want to pop a button during Danny Boy.
No, exactly. Yeah. We've had a few. You know, there was
wardrobe malfunctions, as they say.
We've had a few of those. I remember there was once when I was in the show, Celtic Woman.
Oh yeah.
I shouldn't be saying this, Jim, but I'll tell you.
We're all amongst friends.
I know you won't tell anyone. Yeah.
No.
But there was one of the numbers where I think it was the song "At the Ceilidh," and so the whole storyline is that the girls are singing about going to a ceilidh, meeting a few guys, and they go for a dance, and then we all partner up at the end. So I remember the song finished with, I had to, you know, all the guys had to go down on one knee, and the girls sat on her. Now, I'm not a dancer, by the way. I should really point out. This was probably the most amount of movement I think I've ever done on stage. But the song finished. I went down on one knee, and I think it was Lisa Lamb at the time had to sit on my knee, and I could even hear through the in-ears, which, you know, says a lot of how loud it was. But went down on one knee at the end of the song, front of the stage, and all I hear was this massive rip. And I looked down, and my trousers on stage had not really survived going to the ceilidh. So so be careful buying a front row
treasures on stage.
I tell you, you know, the people in the front rows should really, you know, be warned before a show starts. These kind of things can happen.
Those orchestra seats.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, careful what you wish for.
Right. It gives you that full concert experience and then some. That's the VIP.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I mean? Well, hey, give them the money's worth. That's it, right?
I know.
That is funny stuff. Now, this is cool.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
of these
Yeah.
shots
So
here. Tell us about this.
that
Where
was
was this taken?
it was in Dublin in a studio out in Blanchardstown. And oh, do you know, Jim, this was one of the most enjoyable gigs that
Yeah.
we've done in a long time, where we have been booked to perform at a lot of different Irish festivals, Irish and Celtic festivals in the US. Last summer, which was then again pushed back 12 months, because of COVID. And then again, it was pushed back a further 12 months. And a lot of the festivals were operating in a bit of a hybrid situation, where a lot of the performers in the States were able to participate and perform at the festivals if they were living there. But there was still a ban on traveling. So those who were in Ireland and Scotland couldn't get across. So they asked us to perform virtually and put together a kind of a virtual performance. And what we decided to do was, instead of just doing the generic one that we would do at home, we thought, let's go all out for this. And we booked a studio, as you can see there. We booked a band, two of whom I knew from Celtic Woman days. There was Andy on drums and Shane on keys, but also having Adam and James there as well. And it was just absolutely fantastic. And we recorded the whole thing. We put it together for the festivals, and then it was performed. Each festival operated differently. Some of them were just kind of online performances, but there was two in particular. Were the first one in Iowa. They put up the big screen in the on the stages at the festival itself, and in between acts, they were playing on the big screen some of the performances that were coming through, and that's where they got to see this show there. So we were kind of there up on the screen at the festival, which was brilliant. And then we got to air it on stage. A lot of people are asking if they can purchase the show, and
like if it's archived or saved.
Which wasn't really our intention at the time, but we've gotten so many emails about it that we might look into it. So again, watch this space and we'll see if we can make it work for people. But
stay tuned for further developments on that, right?
Exactly. So and it's a band that we're hoping to be working with again in the future. And that was again some amazing musicians there. Screaming Orphans, who are a band that are doing the rounds as well. Terrific band, and good friends. There's Eileen Ivers there as well, and part of Gaelic Storm as well. And it's a great. What I love about the festivals, apart from performing at them, which is something that really is great. But apart from all that, it's every musician is doing the same thing. They're on tour. They're kind of all in parallel paths to each other, and don't really get that much time to either see each other on stage or else to see each other off stage, grab a drink, have a chat. So what's great about the festivals is that you get to do that. You're all there together. You're all performing. So I love it. I really, really love it. And I've been able to now offer again some of the things that the festivals that I've been doing virtually. So not just music, but workshops in Irish language and Irish history and presenting as well. So, so it's great. That tends to be the time where we travel the most now outside of COVID would be March, obviously, because it's St. Patrick's Day. There's a lot of things that are going on in the States with that. So we tend to be traveling in March, but then again in summer for the festivals, and those are the real busy times. And then outside of that, we just work our bus tours. And then in between that is the online teaching and presenting and doing the radio show. And there's also plans of more things in the future that I'm working on. So it's great. It's really nice having a bit of a structure to the schedule and everything that.
And do you think some of that, the pandemic, enhanced some of those opportunities that maybe you would have been busy in other areas, and this gave you time to the creation of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series grew out. I've wanted to do something like this for a long time, but never had the time to really do it. And I think we talked about it last time you were on. And back in May 2020, I said, you know what? I was actually supposed to be in Ireland on a TV shoot, Texas, Florida, all these other places. And the planes weren't flying, still working out of the house, still on the air professionally through the house and other, social distancing TV shoots and stuff like that. PBS and other shows I host and everything, and radio and all, but still, I said, you know what? Do it now. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Create it. And that's basically what has happened. And again, sort of trailed out of the career I already have, but yet the pandemic sort of pushed it a little bit forward, which is kind of cool. So it sounds like, my friend, you've had opportunities to touch areas that maybe you were thinking about, didn't have time for, because the pandemic and all of its craziness allowed some of that opportunity to happen for you, right?
100%, Jim. Yeah. You know, the as much as it was in at the back of my mind that I would love to do these things, you also just kind of get carried away with the day-to-day work and the plans that you already have, and you're just it can become a little bit of a hamster wheel at times where you're just kind of doing the same thing, always trying to, introduce new music, perform, um, but then you're going back on stage and you're going kind of back to the same places. So when that rug is pulled from under your feet, and pretty quickly as well, as I said, it would only took about 2 or 3 days for a full year and a half schedule to be torn apart. Yeah, you have to sort of think about other things to do, and um, these things just came out of nothing. It started off. I worked with friends of mine in this other company that we helped set up a few years ago called Broad Talent, which ran and still runs creative workshops across Glasgow, particularly in areas of high levels of deprivation. But when that work was cancelled, we thought, well, we can still try and promote creativity in a virtual sense. And I hosted a podcast series, and I couldn't believe how much I loved it. That was sort of the first thing that I did in the presenting world
Right.
during the pandemic, and I was amazed by the guests that I got to have and chat with. We had Danny O'Donoghue from the Script, and one of the judges on The Voice UK. We Nathan Carter, Chloe Agnew, Damien McGinty. People that you would have spoken as well. We had Stuart Murdoch of Bell and Sebastian, and Josie Long as well, comedian here, and Doug King as well, film director, and that got into the top 20 in the UK educational podcast charts. And I was hooked. I really was hooked. I was so nervous before some of the interviews.
You're kind of lucky. Yeah.
And I just loved it. I just loved having a chat with people and hearing their stories. And then, other doors just started opening up from that. And then different radio stations, as one or two on-screen presenting work that I'm involved in at the minute. So, people sometimes ask, what's your job? And I don't have a clue what to tell them, really. I just...
Right, because they know you. Some just know you from Celtic Thunder. Some may know you from this. I've had the same thing. I can totally relate, because like you, I've always done a lot of different things. So some people know me just from iHeartRadio and the show I did there for years, like 18 years, or my years on PBS or other things. And it's interesting because then you mention, oh, I am also involved in this, and I've always been doing that. And they're like, what? I didn't know you did that too. And I didn't know you were involved in that. And you also do that. And then they'll usually say, how do you have enough time to do it all? And do you ever sleep? Do you get that question too?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Do you ever sleep? And I say, well, I'm sleeping right now, standing up.
Exactly. I mean, what we've done, because I obviously want to spend time with the kids as well. So I factor that into the schedule, and with the flexibility that we have, thankfully, what I've been able to do is work in the morning when they're at preschool, and then when they are out of preschool, then we'll have our time with the children in the middle of the day, and then when they go to bed, then I start working again from kind of 7:30 to 11:30 our time here. So it's great that we're able to spend all the time with the kids, and anyone with children knows as well, they've got a pretty full itinerary themselves, but it's great that I get to be able to bring them to swimming, tennis, and football and things, and I love that just as much as I love the work that I do, and I wouldn't miss that for the world. So it's been great. I think if any sacrifices happen, it's been sort of the relaxing time in the evening when other people might sit down to watch Netflix, and times where you wish you could sit down to watch Netflix, that's when you start working again. But it's been great. I've been able to carve out a little path that may not work for everyone, but I love it.
Do
Really
you
love it.
see some musical inclination with the kids? Do they have some
Oh,
interest
they
in
love
it?
it.
They
Yeah,
love it.
God, they love it. Love music. And anytime there's a movie with any music in it, they're hooked to it. So it could be anything. I mean, last Christmas, you know, our son Oisin was only 3 at the time, and High School Musical was on the TV one of the days. We didn't even know he was watching it. We left the room, and he started watching High School Musical. Got hooked to High School Musical at 3. He wanted to listen to the music all the time.
Wow.
And then The Greatest Showman was on, and we were trying to draw the connection, saying, "Oh, you know that guy Zac Efron? He's the guy from High School Musical." Anyway,
Right.
that answered the whole
That
chapter of
was it.
Greatest Showman. After that, he was hooked. But you know, we've music on all the time. Laura's family are also all involved in orchestras. My whole family have been involved in cathedral choirs growing up. So we've been surrounded by music from a young age. And you know, it looks like our children don't really have a choice either. It's just going to be they're surrounded by it, and but they love it. They really do seem to love it.
Speaking of music, did you want to play something for us and share some of
Yeah, of
your
course. Well, hopefully, this was kind of something we threw together pretty quickly just before um, I went on air. But hopefully, everything is still
the
in
audio?
tune and
Sounds
working all
good.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so this is one that I think is probably always requested whenever we do one of these request shows. It's always the Irish song that's always requested as Wild Mountain Time or Go Lassie Go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I thought I could perform that for you on the guitar. And
Sounds
if anyone
good.
at home wants to join in, well, then feel free to.
Before you start, how old were you, Colm, when you picked up that guitar, any guitar? How old were you when?
The guitar was later than the piano. So what happened for me was that I started playing piano from a young age of about, I must have been about 5 or 6. And, you know, like the rest of my family, like anyone else playing the piano, I was brought up going through the grades and had a fantastic teacher. My granny was also somebody who really encouraged me to keep playing the piano. And my dad was always a folk guitarist, and there was always sing songs in the house. He could pick up any song and play along with it. And because I was brought up reading the notes on the page, I was
Yeah.
always in awe of my dad who and his family that could really play with their ear. So I started later on the guitar. I was about
Does
11
that
or
hurt
12.
playing by ear?
Well, it depends what instrument you're playing, really, isn't it?
Good.
Yeah, so he started to teach me around 11 or 12. Um, and then it was only when I started playing the guitar that I went back to the piano, but I was thinking in a totally different way of chord structures and patterns on the piano. And that's when I started really loving the piano as well. So
Yeah,
it's almost thanks to the guitar that I started to love the piano rather than just play it.
right.
Um,
The guitar a little more portable. You can take it with you and perform just about anywhere
exactly.
because
Yeah.
it's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about the guitar that you have in your hands, the particular one you have.
Yeah, so I've always been a fan of Taylor's, really, and this is one that I got on tour when I was in Florida. There was a store that I wanted to go to for a while, and I was always with. In fact, I've got 2 guitars, one of which was bought when I was with Neil Byrne. For anyone who knows Celtic Thunder, he knows everything about guitars. He's an amazing player, so he was with me when I bought the first one. And that was a Taylor. Got really used to the sound of the Taylor. Loved the Taylors, and then I saw this a few years later, and I went a bit weak at the knees, you know. So picked that up.
Yeah.
And yeah, though huge fan of Taylor guitars. But
Cool.
so yeah, so I thought I'd perform "Will You Go, Lassie Go," which always is a bit of a crowd pleaser and one that people tend to join in with, and hopefully they enjoy. So. And I hope the levels are okay now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll see. But this
Sounds good on this end. Yeah.
great. Okay, well, this is "Will You Go, Lassie Go" or "Wild Mountain Time," and I hope you
All
enjoy.
right. Here's Colm Keegan on the Jim Master Show live.
Oh, the summertime is coming. The trees are sweetly blooming. The wild mountain pine blows around the blooming heather. Will you go, seagull? And we'll all go together to pluck wild mountain pine all around the blooming heather. Will you go, a seagull? Ooh, I will build my love a bower near your pure crystal fountain, and on it I will build all the flowers of the mountain. Will you go, seagull? And we'll all go together to pluck wild mountain pine all around the blooming heather. Will you go, seagull?
Really nice, my friend. That's really nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah. When you perform, are you transported to a different place? Are you in a certain zone? A lot of people, when they're performing, they sort of they're in a zone, they're in another place and time. How about you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think when you're performing, you kind of go back to all those memories you have on stage, or memories that you have growing up. And I still pinch myself that I get to be in a position where I take something that I've loved from such a young age
Right.
and get to do that for a living. Get to have people that are, sometimes when you show up at a gig and you do your sound check and then you look outside and you see a queue outside about to come in, and when you think, I can't believe that I get to have people, I can fly across the world and have people queuing up to see you, so it's really sort of humbling. And but when I'm performing, I'd perform anywhere. I think anyone who knows me probably knows that. Like I would literally, if there was 2 people that wanted to hear me, or if there was 200 people, I'd be happy
Still do it.
to perform to either,
Right. Still do it. Yeah. That's cool. What I know you have another song, but what do you listen to? What is in your, iPod or your player? What kind of music do you listen to? A variety of stuff, Colin?
Oh yeah, huge variety. Yeah, growing up, as I said, it was a cathedral choir was my
Right.
background. So very far away from any sort of Celtic music, or
Yeah.
certainly not the rock and roll answer that I think you'd probably expect to hear. But yeah, so that was very much an important part, and I would still love that. If I had ever to escape to sort of a Zen place, it would be that kind of music. If I'm totally honest, it would be the Palestrina, or but
Do you
now
like country? Because I know in Ireland, country and folk is so popular, huh?
country's huge. Yeah, absolutely huge. And I think, again, whenever we offer the bus tours, is something that takes a lot of the passengers by surprise when they hear how much country that there is. Yeah, I love country. Absolutely love it. I think as well, I always loved folk music.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the thing I'd most love, kind of just sitting down from an audience point of view, just seeing people acoustically playing, you know, in a folk
Sort of
setting.
laid
You know,
back and casual and just having a good time
exactly,
with one
yeah.
another, right?
And it's only really from doing the radio show that's opened my eyes, because I try and listen to loads of different artists to play each
Right.
week, and now I've just gotten really hooked to a lot of different local bands and local musicians and local artists. You know, and that's definitely kind of fueled the fire then to, you know, collaborate, perform some of their songs, work with them, you know, for different things like that. So yeah, so folk music would probably be the thing that I would probably listen to most, I think, if I was putting on any genre. But it could be anything. It could be, as I said, it could be something by, you know, Victoria or William Byrd, you know, composers like that at one stage.
Yeah,
Then it could be
right.
soft jazz, it could be Ella Fitzgerald, it could be
Yeah.
you know, it really depends on the day and the mood. But there's a huge variety in there for sure.
What about Christmas? I know Celtic Thunder's touched upon a lot of Christmas music. Have you thought of like a Christmas album, or, you know, a lot of
Yeah,
people, that's always a target for a lot of performers, is to have that Christmas album.
it's definitely a target, definitely, and especially because I feel like it's the genre that would most merge my background into what I'm doing now. Sometimes I
Right.
do love folk music, you know, and so I don't feel like I'm a con artist or anything. I do
Right.
perform songs that I love, but my entire musical journey from a cathedral balcony at home to where I am now, um, I think, uh, you know, Christmas music is the one that time of year where you can perform that, and it's
Reaches people on real deep levels too.
yeah, definitely. So I don't think, if I was to do a Christmas album, I think it would probably be more to do with that side of things rather than maybe the, you know, I saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus sort of, you know, lighthearted. But then again, I don't know. I'm saying this now, and then I could release an album that totally contradicts what I'm about to say.
Grandma
In a
got
year
run
or
over
two.
by a reindeer.
Yeah, those kind of. I mean, listen, as I said, if anyone wants to hear it, I'd perform it. So that's kind of my attitude. But yeah, it's definitely something I'd love to do at some stage for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, I don't want to put a timeline on it, but there's
Yeah.
definitely thoughts that I
But
have.
just stay
in my head.
tuned. It may happen. And if it has, you will hear it here on the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll have him back
Absolutely,
and he will do
absolutely.
it.
I'll be sure to give you an email, Jim.
Absolutely. What do you have lined up for us next, my friend? They're all excited here. And thanks for
Well,
doing that song that you just did.
for nothing. Well, I thought what I would do is, this is always one that I thought I would go with the ones that that are most requested. You know, we spoke about Celtic Thunder earlier, so this could be a good trial for me to see if I can remember some of the words to a Celtic Thunder song. But this is a song that I always loved singing with Celtic Thunder, and now anyone who comes to one of our shows, this is always a song that I'm asked to sing. So I thought I'd perform it here.
For folks watching right now, you're sort of tuning it, you're getting it ready, right? If they're wondering what that is,
Yeah,
they may think that's a song by itself. An instrumental. He's now doing an instrumental.
Pretty repetitive song, yeah.
Yeah.
So I might, I've got a tuner here. So these strings are so old that I would have changed them. But if you bear with me for 2 seconds, I can.
Oh yeah,
it's a proper tune. Nothing worse than starting a song and realizing that the song.
You get one string that goes boing instead of.
Oh, listen, it happens, and it gives you such a fright when it happens in the middle of a song because you don't expect it. But
yeah.
Oh yeah, I think one time I think I ended up with, there was 2 strings that went in one go, so I was trying to play to the end of the song, which was
with the one. Again, that's what happens live, and you just make the most of it, right, my friend? You just
have to go.
Just go with it and just make magic with it. Absolutely.
But there's a funny story. Well, I suppose.
You know, you actually, while you're chatting, do I see a cello behind you? And then I see, is there a little guitar or I'm not like a fiddle or something on the wall behind you too?
There is a ukulele. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, well, this is kind of the room. I don't know if you can see where we've been involved. Both myself and Laura are involved in a lot of virtual recordings as well. That's also been one of the benefits to having everything here. So we've been recording in this room over the last few months. Laura's involved in a lot. And there's one of the things that she's involved in at the minute is, you know, with everything going on here at the minute, I'm sure Glasgow's on everyone's TV at the minute because the COP26 is happening just across the road from us. So all the world leaders are across the road from us as we speak.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, so Laura's performing.
Have you chatted with any, you know, walking down the street?
Maybe they might hear this.
Here's how I'd like you to change the world, sir. Or madam.
But this is, yeah, this song here was made famous by, you know, an artist that needs no introduction in Ireland, Mary Black. And it was written by an amazing singer-songwriter called Jimmy McCarthy. So Jimmy McCarthy's written so many beautiful songs in the past.
Oh, yeah.
And this was one of his songs. And we used to drive this car growing up. If you know, I've said this once or twice, people might have heard it. We used to drive the car that, you know, was on its last legs, really, the mom used to drive. And it was one of these cars where you put the tape in, the cassette in, and, you know, now you've got all the buttons of Bluetooth or FM and, you know,
Apple this and Android
exactly.
that.
But now, like back then, it was like, you know, if you want to listen to the tape, you put on the tape. If you want to listen to the radio, you shove the two buttons and the tape comes out and you listen to the radio. And they were your options. And this Mary Black tape got stuck in the machine.
Oh, that would happen too.
Yeah. So for about 3 years, Jim, you know, no joke. This was, if you wanted sound at all in the car, it was this Mary Black tape that we had. And which was a beautiful album the first time you heard it, and the second time you heard it, and after a few weeks, you know, you're ready for something new. After 3 years, I was scarred for life, you know. But on that album was one of these songs that I joined the show years later in Celtic Thunder, and it was a song that was suggested to, you know, Dave Monroe, or MD, who gave me a call and said, do you know the Jimmy McCarthy song Katie? And I thought, oh my God, this song is going to haunt me for the rest of my life, really, because it was on that Mary Black tape.
It was the ones jammed in the cassette deck in the car.
Exactly, yeah. Little did he know, I knew every word to every verse at that point. But yeah, beautiful song. I was asked to sing it in Celtic Thunder. And it's always one that whenever I'm doing a show, people are always asking if I can sing that one. So I thought if you asked for two, well, then that's one that I'd perform here for you as well. So
Sharon goes, I knew it was Katie. And Barbara Quinn says, love this song, Katie. We love all of you. Thanks everybody who's watching. If you're just tuning in, I'm your host, Jim Masters. We're here in the United States, in the New York area, between New York and Boston on the southern New England coast. We do this show live 7 days a week. Look back in our archives. It's over 550 episodes of our entertainment lifestyle talk show series right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And we would love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes of our series that we do here. We have a lot of fun, entertainment, lifestyle segments, musical segments, talk show segments. We go on location, a whole bunch of cool stuff all for you guys. And if you're loving this episode and any of the episodes, give it a thumbs up on our YouTube channel. Leave a comment for us as well. And I know a lot of you guys do that already. And we thank you, thank you, thank you. Barbara says she's been singing along. So she's going to sing along to this one. I think everybody is. And Barbara says, I'll be back, Jim Masters. I wonder if she did it like Schwarzenegger. I'll be back.
It was definitely the voice I had in my head when you read it out. Yeah.
You are welcome back, Barbara. Everybody is. All right.
Well, here's Katie. Hope you enjoy.
You got it.
Tumbling girls of green, with stained glass streaming light and a yellow-colored lampshade used to keep us up all night. The smile upon your face, the tears upon your cheeks, the night sky on the window, and your heart calling out to me. Come running home again, Katie. Come running home again. Cross my heart and hope to die. Shall I cause another tear from your eye? The mirror that won't talk, and your nightgown on the door. The old pedal singer just don't sing no more. You can roll the reels for hours from the movie of this book. It's a question mark on this heart of mine. Send the Neller back to look. Come running home again, Katie. Come running home again. Cross my heart and hope to die. Shall I cause another tear from your eye? Come running home again, Katie. Come running home again. Cross my heart and hope to die. Shall I cause another tear from your eye?
Really nice. Sounded
Thank you very much.
really nice, you know?
Thank you. It's yeah, it's always a song that I'll never forget, standing in a studio with Celtic Thunder for the first time, and in 2011, 2012, and if you talk about nerves, I remember my legs were shaking in the studio and singing the song, and every time I think about it, I just can't help think of what's happened since then till now, and and it's been an amazing journey. So hopefully there's still more to come. Hopefully it's not coming to an end, but it's been fantastic.
If the column of today was to talk to the 10-year-old Colm, what would he say? Would you be surprised by how things have turned out, and the paths and the blessings and all the things that have developed, or did you have a plan for all of this?
No, I can't say I did have a plan for it all, which sounds really possibly unfair, because I know there's people that would literally give an arm and a leg to have a position in Celtic Thunder, and a show of that stature.
And like a launch pad in many ways for a lot of the artists.
Absolutely. I mean, performing all over the world in some of the
coming
biggest
over to the United
theaters
States and being on television and all of that. Yeah.
It's been really surreal, but I think
Sharon's done a wonderful job with them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No,
Sharon Brown.
It's I think anytime I've been asked to kind of talk about career or advice you have, what I always say, for me, what works, is I would just take every opportunity you can. I would take every gig you can. I know people have to obviously draw a line between you have to live and earn as well. I wouldn't say otherwise, but I just did every gig I could, regardless of what the paycheck was. I didn't even a lot of the time know what the paycheck was that I was had when I was doing the work. Sometimes there wasn't any, but it was through the gigs that you did. Then somebody that you were gigging with was then looking for someone else in a few months' time, and they give you a call, and that's pretty much how the music world worked for me. All of a sudden, then somebody that I'd done a gig with was asking was I available for the choir in Celtic Woman. I did a DVD with them at aged 18, and then 3 years later, when I was very coincidentally finishing my last exam, my undergraduate degree, they gave me a call and asked would I tour with them for a year, and then I thought I'd take a gap year, tour with Celtic Woman, come back and finish that year of the Masters. And then that year finished, and I was asked to join Celtic Thunder within 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. So everything just really happened by fluke in some ways, but also I think if you put yourself out there, well, then things do happen by fluke at times. And
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
I just said yes to everything and anything I can get my hands on, and I still do that. And I throw everything at the wall. Sometimes you look at it and say, "Well, that didn't work."
Or does it ever become overwhelming? Where, like I've had to learn, and it's taken a long time to learn to do it. I'm always, yes, I'll be right there. Absolutely. Whatever it is. And like you say, not even knowing what the result's going to be or how you're going to be, compensated, whatever. And it's like, then as time goes on, you almost have to start to create some like boundaries just so you can tend to the things in the proper way that you want to tend to them. So it doesn't seem so scattered and like you're almost, I'm doing this, but then I got to do this and I got to do this, but I want to do that at 100%, but I want to do that at 100% and I can't because I have to do this and this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Have you had to create some boundaries over time and then sort of pick and choose a little bit?
I always think, for me anyway, there's a very different stage of your career when you're trying to get a foot in the door in different places.
Yes,
and at that stage, that's when you take on as much as you can.
I'll be there, and yes.
Exactly, yeah. When you're really trying to make a name for yourself,
well, fine tune and perfect it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And not to say that I ever at any stage went into a gig where I was happy with anything that wasn't the best that I could give. But, it's very different when, I'm always conscious as well that I don't want to come across like a jack of all trades, master of none either. You don't want somebody to look from the outside in and thinking, God, he's
right.
His head's all over the place. Like in my head, it sort of makes sense. But I always think that sometimes you have to convey that to other people as well. But
exactly.
But yeah, I would just take on as much as I can, throw yourself in all these different directions. And, and for me anyway, if you keep doing that, well, then your life goes in a direction you can never really imagine. I certainly couldn't imagine any of this, 10 years after joining Celtic Thunder, living in Glasgow with my wife, was from the show with 2 children and doing bus tours. And, I thought I was going to go back in to become a teacher. And that was the life that I thought I was going to have. So now I'm teaching people all over the world from their home and from mine.
Full circle, right? Exactly. When did you get the master's? How long ago was that?
Well, so I finished it with the University of Strathclyde here in Glasgow. So I did my undergraduate degree with UCD, University College Dublin. I think that finished in 2010, 2011, I think, before I joined Celtic Woman. And then I did, it was with Celtic Thunder. And I think I did the Strathclyde postgraduate in 2017, I think.
2017, wow.
The years do kind of merge into one, I normally, if I'm at a meet and greet, I normally ask the people who are there the answer to some of the questions I've been asked, because they know this tour was
they've kept track of it all, right?
For me, it's just kind of one big memory, and I can never really differentiate. But I think,
well, when you get the master's, that means we're related.
Oh yes.
I was born with a master's.
You are, yeah, but that's a pretty handy.
We're very lucky to be.
I know.
Already a master's. I've got it.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's if only I was born with a PhD as a second name, I would have.
Yes, right. So tell us, my friend, again, of some of the cool things that are coming up, because we love sharing that, and we know people are tuning in, and some people have just joined us, and things of that nature. So the classes, the teaching opportunities, is that, I think you said earlier, it's limited, right, to a certain amount, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, the teaching is open to anyone, really. I mean, the bus tours is where we kind of cap it at 50 passengers per tour, tops, anywhere between 40 and 50. But the teaching is open to anyone. We offer group classes, which tend to take place on a Sunday. you know, and then there's individual classes. So if you wanted to take an individual class with me in Irish history, Irish language, Irish current affairs, music theory, well, then you can do that. You know, and the new, it tends to be, rather than just have some structure to it, it tends to be in 7-week terms that we do it. And the next window of openings that's available is starting this coming Sunday. So if anyone wants to join the next 7-week term, it's this Sunday that we're starting, which is Sunday the 7th of November until the 19th of December. The classes that I teach are Irish language, Irish history, Irish current affairs, music theory. My wife Laura teaches private cello lessons as well as group piano lessons.
Have you ever taken a stab at the cello? Have you ever attempted to?
I have, and I've realized
she's the expert.
Yeah. I you know, I'm more afraid of damaging the cello than I am of giving it a shot, you know. So I should point out that when I say private cello lessons, it will not be me teaching the cello. I wouldn't charge anyone a penny to sit in one of those lessons. So it will be Laura that's teaching it, or a book club and you know, WhatsApp learning as well with the Irish language phrases. And if for anyone who signs up as well, we also have a weekly Q&A on a Tuesday that everyone is invited to, and then they're also invited to a private show at the end of it where we put on a musical performance as well. So all of that's happening this coming Sunday. Keeps me busy. Hopefully people enjoy it. And then we've also got a stage it coming up for Christmas.
Yes, Barbara Quinn's been asking about that and asking throughout our entire episode today. She'll be very pleased.
So there will be a concert happening on stage for Christmas, and that's going to be going on sale in the next week or two as well. So, and then there is going to be a tour happening in North America in March, which I'm really excited about. And it's a tour that has a twist that I can't say yet what it's going to be.
Now, is it the Colm Keegan tour or is it Celtic Thunder?
So this is going to be a Colm and Laura Keegan tour.
Great.
Yeah. So we're going to be collaborating with people that you know, I'm really excited about as well. So that's going to be going on sale and announced mid-November. So they don't have to wait too long for that. Normally the teasers have to wait a bit longer to find out, but that's going to be in the next week or two.
Posted on that. Yeah. Like as you know, when you're over here, maybe we'll get together and if you need somebody to MC and intro you guys on stage, you've seen me do it.
Absolutely.
Be happy to.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that'd be great. So
Alessandra's asking, are you coming to North Carolina? She already wants to
pick up your tickets.
Maybe, right?
I know. God, I'm trying to think of the tour itinerary offhand. I don't honestly know.
Possibly. But where can is there a website they can go to learn more?
So all of the tickets will, when it's announced, and we will make a big thing on social media. So anyone who's following me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook will be aware of it. But when the tickets go on sale, it'll all be available on my website, colmkeegan.com. So if they head over to colmkeegan.com, that's also where the bus tours go on sale. There's going to be an Irish bus tour going on sale really shortly. I've just actually signed off on a new Irish tour that's going to be going on sale in the next few days. So as I said, there's always something, you know, for anyone who's following me, there's always something to announce. That's going to be happening either in the short term or the long term. But do
the kids come around, or does the family usually take care of the kids while you guys you have to be out and about?
For the bus tours, they actually, so Laura normally drives behind the bus tour, or I drive behind. We take it in turns. So one of us will be on the bus with the passengers. I tend to be on the bus. You know, even though I'd say they probably wish that I put the microphone down and let Laura take over instead. But so they come around. They normally see all the passengers at the beginning, at the end of the tour. But now that we've got the motorhome, which we hadn't had since last time, well, then there might be a few opportunities in the middle of the tour as well, for them to see them. So so it's certainly a family-run business now at this stage.
Yeah, it sure is. Sharon says, come to Toronto, Canada. And Margaret says Canada.
Margaret.
Amy says, come to Tennessee or Mississippi. She's sort of straddling the border there. She'll go to either state.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will go literally anywhere, Jim. So, watch this space. We've definitely got dates lined up in March. just before our Irish bus tour kicks off, and then we've got a Scotland bus tour in April and May. So it's going to be a busy spring.
Very cool, huh?
Yeah, so we've got the cruise in February, a few dates in March, and then 2 bus tours. And then we will breathe again for a little bit of May, and then go back to perform at some of the Irish and Celtic festivals in summer. So we'll be back to perform at some of the, I can't say which festivals yet, but
yeah,
we've been booked to that. So
Maureen, one of our regular faithful JMS Lovities, Arizona would love to have you. And Cheryl, how about coming to Iowa?
Iowa.
And,
Cheryl, great to see you tuning in. We will be in Iowa in the next few months. I can guarantee that. We will also be in Illinois. I saw there, I don't know, Soraya, is that?
Yeah. She said Iowa.
Illinois. So we'll be in
Ohio.
Illinois.
Kathy Short, our Lovity from Cleveland.
We will also be in Ohio for definite.
Cape Town, South Africa.
Oh God, I would love to. Yeah, I mean, even just for a vacation, would be
one
fantastic.
Of our Lovities.
Yeah.
Juanita, yeah, that's cool. So good stuff coming
up. A lot
up.
going on. And Jim, I really appreciate the platform to chat and
my pleasure,
and talk about it all. And I'm delighted for you to see. I think anyone who's watching should be given a big round of applause for you for keeping it going during the pandemic as well. Fair play to you, Jim. That's fantastic. You've been able to do so much. So, you know how
it is when you do what you love. It's not even work, right?
I know. Well, that's it. But no, it takes there's a lot behind the scenes to pull it off, and you've clearly been doing that. So, massive congrats.
Well, our buddy here, who usually shows up towards the latter part of the show, just wanted to say hello, and you knocked it out of the park. Mr. George Burns is with us, the comedian. And he said, you
Good
did
to
well.
See you.
He said, you knocked it out of the park, kid. Yeah, he's always dapper. He's got his cigar. He's always ready to go. And he pops up towards the end. This was really cool. It was so cool, literally, catching up with you, my friend, and all the blessings that are happening in your life. And, you got a lot of cool things that are in the fire there that are cooking, and you've been staying connected with everybody and staying active, doing music and having a good time doing it. And, you're living your bliss, wouldn't you say, my friend? You're living
thank you very much. I'm really lucky. I'm really, really lucky.
Blessings.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I'll just continue to kind of keep motoring on and seeing if I just keep throwing stuff out there, and if anyone's enjoying it, well, then we'll keep doing it. And
I think they are, Colm. I think they are.
Well, we've been blessed. We've really been blessed, and and we probably don't get an opportunity like this to thank everyone enough. So, so really appreciate it.
My pleasure. And they're all saying thank you, and everybody's typing away here. Really, really cool. Great to spend time with us here. Love it. Juanita as well. Applause to both of you. Great conversation. Lovely music. Thank you, Colm, for spending time with us. Really nice. And Amy, it's always great to listen to you, Colm. God bless you. Laura and the kiddos. Absolutely. A lot of work goes into all the luck. Yes, Barbara, it sure does, doesn't it?
Great to see him.
Yeah, a lot of work goes into all that luck.
Well, Barb does a huge amount, I should point out, as well, for the Colm Keegan promo group team as well.
Cool.
And so Barb is fantastic. And has a birthday coming up this week as well. So happy early birthday, Barb, as far as I remember.
She does. And she helps with the promo team.
She does. So, I mean, when she talks about a lot of work that goes behind the scenes, she's absolutely part and parcel of that. So, massive thanks to Barb.
Now, we have a little bit of a tradition here. When we find out it's, Sweden wants you too. Jane, our Lovity in Sweden, she would like you to come to Sweden. We have a little bit of a ritual we do here on the show. It just sort of happened on its own, and now it just is part of the show. When we find out it's somebody's birthday, we like to maybe sing happy birthday to them. So you want to join together and sing happy birthday to Barbara? She's part of your promo team. She'll promote you even more if we do it. You want to lead off?
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Barbara. Happy birthday to you.
Yay. There we go.
There, nailed it, Jim.
That's it. That's it. You call Sharon and say Jim Masters is another Celtic Thunder guy. If one of the others ducks out, we'll rotate.
Yeah.
Barbara Hartnett. Yes, we love it. Happy birthday to Barbara. And Jane in Sweden says, thank you for Colm for being here. Thank you, Jim. Our pleasure. Sharon gives you a nice heart as well. And everybody's saying happy birthday. And you're very welcome, Barbara. Say we do happy birthday on our show. We got a chance to do it. You are welcome. She says, love it. Thank you, guys. Beautiful stuff. Really, really nice. Cool. This was great, my friend. Thanks for all the time.
Jim. Thank you so much. And
yeah.
We will absolutely, whenever there's something new to talk about, I'm sure, you know,
pop in at any time. And you know how it is. We have no length to the shows, you know, so if you ever need to pop on with something short, we can do that. Sometimes, you know, we just let it roll. We don't script it. There's no pre-questions. We just let it roll, you know, warm conversational freestyle, which is how I love to do it. And I know you like that as well.
Absolutely.
So, you know, when you come back, we can talk long, we can talk short. I tell the guests,
that'll be great.
Much time as you have. And
yeah, I will see you this time next year for another roundup of what's happened in between.
Well, hopefully before that. Good stuff, my friend. You be well, and I hope, as always, I say on the show, I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and you enjoyed time with me as much as I have with you, my friend. It's good catching up.
Great chatting. Take care, and thanks to everyone for joining as well. It's been absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely. Take care, you take care, Colm. Say hi to everybody for me.
I will do. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. There he goes, Colm Keegan in Scotland. So cool to have him here, and we appreciate it all the time. You know, with our shows, like I say, we don't put any time limit on it. We come on the air and we just roll with it, and however long a guest has, we roll with it. Sometimes we're on shorter, sometimes we're on longer. Really cool to have you guys here. And we have another show coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific with a brilliant guest, another brilliant guest, and we're very excited about that guest. And that guest is Joy Lynn Jacobs, and she's all excited to be here. She's an award-winning film and television and stage actress. Yes, Hollywood, Broadway, and so much more. She's coming up tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. You know, we also have Hollywood's bad guy. Yes, he plays a lot of the bad guy characters in movies and television. Many of your favorite TV shows and movies. Jasper Cole is with us coming up this week as well. We also have coming up, I believe it's next week, from General Hospital, the famous soap opera. He's right now playing Elijah Crow in the soap opera. Dan White is going to be with us as well. Coming up tomorrow, Tony-nominated Peter Link is going to be with us. He was on As the World Turns and so many great television shows and so much more. But he's also a brilliant musical artist, composer, lyricist, and so much more. He's going to be with us as well. And really cool stuff. We really look forward to it. For those of you who like, you know, the Celtic Thunder lads, Damien was with us just a couple weeks ago. You can check that episode out as well. And we've had Ron Kelly join us here on the show twice. And Neil Burns will be with us twice as well. And so many others. Always a great time when we're together. If this is your first time here on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, we say thanks so much for joining us. There's over 500 episodes plus of our series you can see on our YouTube channel. We'd love it if you subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss any of the incredible content, all the episodes, the epic chats, all the music, the conversations, the laughs, the warm and deep, poignant moments that happen on this show as well. And there have been many, and all the surprises too. We work hard behind the scenes to put on a really cool show. This is like a television show, entertainment and talk and variety and lifestyle segments and just something for everybody. Every show is something completely different, and it's all to entertain and inspire and empower all of you. Put smiles on your face, connect all of us. As we always say, that's what I do in my professional world in television and radio and stage and film. And I love doing it with all of you here. And to have my buddies like Colm Keegan on the show and catching up with us and spending this amount of time, really, really beautiful. We love it. And Maureen says, and you guys, you should, if you didn't see our Halloween episode, oh yeah, there were two very interesting fill-in hosts. maybe. Doomsday Dude Perfect and Halo stopped by and they hosted the show this past Halloween. And it was one for the record books. And you guys loved it. It was something fun. It was something out of left field. And a lot of people are watching it and they're loving it. And it was very cool. And it was all, ad lib. And it was very funny. And, thumbs up to Doomsday Dude Perfect and for Halo for doing the Halloween episode. You can see it right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. It was a lot of fun. Maureen, who was there, is it Wojciechowicz or Wiedepol? I'll have to check with Doomsday Dude Perfect and Halo to see what it is. Maureen says, wow, what a fantastic show this was. It was a nice break from all the wedding prep. Yes, her daughter is getting married. Yes, her daughter's getting married. Blessings to you and your daughter and your family, Maureen. Absolutely. Would be a hoot to have them all at once. Lots of crack. Yes, all at once. And Jane in Sweden says, great show, Jim. See you later. Yes, we've got, now that Jane is retired, she doesn't have to go to bed as early, so she can stay up for all these shows while she watches us in beautiful Sweden. Today, we were celebrating Irish with Colm Keegan. As I mentioned, I'm Irish on my father's mother's side of the family. I'm Swedish on my mother's side of the family, English on both sides of the family, and French on my mother's side. So we've got a lot of Northern European running through our veins here. And you never know, if you do your DNA, there might be even more things. Wonderful show, Jim. See you in a few hours. Thank you, Mary. Time to go have some dinner. I know it's late for everybody watching in the UK, Scotland, and England, and of course in Ireland. We thank all of you who have been watching from overseas as well. We really sincerely welcome you to join us again and spread the levity. Tell everybody you know about the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. It's really a pleasure to have all of you here. Thanks, Jim. See you later. You too. Kathleen Walker watching in New York City. And it was so cool that Colm and I sang for Barbara Hartnett. I bet you Barbara is probably on cloud nine right now. We both sang happy birthday and she's on his promo team. So I thought that was kind of nice to do that for Barbara. And Colm was, he was right there with me and I loved it. Great show, Jim. Colm, see you for tonight's show. Mary, thank you, Mary in Florida. And Amy, great show, Jim. Thank you very much. Margaret, great show. Thank you. My pleasure. And Alessandra, thanks, Jim. See you later. Love it, love it, love it. Allison says, great having Colm on. You are so true, and we agree, and you're my pleasure. And thank you, Jim, from Sharon. Thank you as well. And Soraya, thank you. And Barbara says, Jim Masters, you have a wonderful show. Thank you both. Thank you, Barbara, Nicholas, for joining us here. And we hope you join us again. And tell all your friends about the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Take care, Jim and Colin. Margaret, good to see you. And we welcome you back. We always have the porch light on for you as well. And cool stuff. Thank you, Margaret. And thanks to everybody for all these beautiful comments. We always have a good time here on the show. We always have beautiful conversations, great entertainment of all kinds. And we love connecting with all of you. Thank you so very much for all of your time and attention. You can find me on Facebook at Jim Masters TV, as well as Instagram and Twitter at Jim Masters TV, and right here on YouTube at Jim Masters TV as well. Are Doomsday and Halo related? I don't know. I'll have to ask. I'll have to find out. I'll have to find out. Kathleen Walker in New York says, thanks, Jim. See you later. And Soraya says, thanks, Jim, for the show. The pleasure, all mine, Soraya. So good to see you as well here on JMS Live. You know, there's a few things we always do. Don't forget, you know, you can go to colmkeegan.com to learn more about all the cool things that he's doing. And we showed a lot of cool photos and had, you know, some great conversation. Isn't that a cool shot? Yeah, these are really cool shots that we showed during the course of the conversation. There's that heart. There's a lot of levity in that shot, right? Something we talk about all the time. Really cool having my buddy Colm back on for a return visit here on the Jim Masters Show live. It was really, really cool. Lots of conversation that was a lot of fun. A lot of laughs, too. We thank Colm for joining us here on the show. We would love it if you guys, again, could like and subscribe to Jim Masters TV. Click subscribe. Very easy to do. It's that big red button you see right there that looks like that. And you click that. And then, boom, look what happens. Whoosh, like magic. You're subscribed. And there's no cost for it. And also click like if you liked this episode. That helps us out as well. You know, when you do that, YouTube loves that. And then they send that out. They actually share this episode and all the episodes with more and more people around the world. And leave a comment for us as well if you enjoyed this episode, if you had a good time with all of us. We really appreciate that. We do love you all. And I think it's really cool when you guys are here with us. I always look forward to these shows and putting all these shows as your hosts and executive producer here. It's always a blast. Gang, don't forget to smile and don't forget to share the levity. We say this all the time. Don't forget to find your Zen place and be happy. You know, life isn't always perfect, but when you're together and when you are loved and you share the love with the world, there truly is nothing better, right? And share your talents. You know, Colm loves music. You know, I love what I do as a communicator and as a host and a journalist and actor and all the things that I do, voiceover artist, whatever it is you do, if it inspires people and it inspires you, gang, then you're doing the right thing. You're doing what really fills your heart and connects with so many people. And I love to do that as well, just like my buddy Colm does. My work in television, radio, stage, and film over the years, the same thing. That's a Zen place for me, big time. I love it. And also, Colm said he loves tennis. I do too. And I also love baseball and swimming. Boy, you got to drag me out of the ocean. This is the Atlantic Ocean on the south shore of Long Island, New York. I'm originally from New York, from out east on Long Island. And that's where we hail from originally. And swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, sailing, you got to drag me out of the ocean. Although the ocean's a little cold, a little nippy right about now, this time of the year. But I love the ocean and baseball and music and communicating, writing, all of it. And I love all of you. You guys are the best. Tell the Halloween hosts, thank you for the Halloween episode you gave all of us. That's right. I heard that you're Bacon Barry. That's right. They told me, Doomsday Dude Perfect and Halo told me that you've been crowned Bacon Barry. So that's your new nickname. Ben Barry. Bacon Barry, who's Zen. Jen is Zen Bacon Barry. Very, very cool. Thank you for joining us, Soraya. And Maureen goes, Doomsday and Halo, two wild and crazy guys. Kind of like Wayne's World, right? Loads of fun. And Maureen, Jen agrees with you. If you guys didn't see the Halloween episode of our show, they showed, did I say we? They showed, you know, the two hosts, those wild and crazy guys. That's Steve Martin, right? He said that. Or was it Billy Crystal? Wild and crazy. I think both of them on Saturday Night Live. If you didn't see that episode, the Halloween episode, it's hilarious. And just anything happened. And it was really, really cool. But I keep saying we. I wasn't here. Remember, I wasn't here. Doomsday Dude Perfect was here and Halo was sitting like right there. From what I saw, they did a nice job. They showed the chairs. Many of you sent in photos of the chairs that you sit in when you watch the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. You sent us your chairs. Well, not the chairs, but the photos of the chairs. And they showed them. So if you didn't see that episode, check it out. Because if you sent one of your photos in of a chair that you sit in or the couch, some of you have some really exotic leather couches and comfy chairs, really cool stuff. Your chair became a star on the Jim Masters Show live Halloween episode. and much more. We showed a lot of photos of Halloween over the years for a lot of our viewers, and it was a lot of fun. Thank you, Juanita in South Africa. Right back at you, Lovity Juanita. Absolutely. Yes, Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd. They were the wild and crazy guys. That's right, Maureen Wojciechowicz. So I heard. All right, gang. It's always a cool time with all of you. I'm your host, Jim Masters. That's my name. This is the place to come. If you want to be entertained, you want to have a good time with us, we toast all of you. Colm had his mug. I have mine. We toast you and you and you and you. We're going to grab some dinner. Got another show coming up with a phenomenal guest. Joy Lynn Jacobs. You've seen her in a lot of TV shows, movies, stage. She is really a fabulous person. And she's going to be hopping on the Jim Masters Show live for all of you guys. A couple more comments coming in here. Jen says, I'm proud to be Bacon Barry. That's your new CB handle. Bacon Barry. Love it. We're going to sign off for now, but if you want to watch this episode again, it's saved for you right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. That's right. It's right here on the YouTube channel. And share the lovity. Tell everybody about our show. You guys are the best. We have the best viewers, best audience, and we just love doing this for you guys. So as we say, share the lovity, help us grow, tell everybody about our series, The Jim Masters Show Live, right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, a channel dedicated to entertaining, inspiring, educating, informing, and whatever else we can do to put smiles on your faces. All right, gang, we're going to duck out of here. We got to have some dinner and do a little work and get the next show ready. 2 shows, double lovity today on a Tuesday. Usually sometimes that happens on a Saturday, but I had some time this afternoon to do this for all of you, to do the 2 shows, and I'm glad to do it. And it's so good to connect with all of you. All right, gang. We don't say goodbye. We always just say see you later. So we'll see you later, okay? Auf Wiedersehen, Moi Loop, which means walk well. Juanita in South Africa taught us that one. And take care of one another, love one another, and we'll see you on the next episode. If you missed anything or you want to see it again, it's right here for you on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Take care, gang. Cheers. Be well. We'll see you on the next episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Bye-bye. Cheers.